Trustee Dodge?
Here.
Trustee Calandrello?
Here.
Trustee Healy? Here. Trustee Katsinas?
Here.
Trustee Malani?
Here.
Mayor Pico?
Here.
Please rise for pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of February 17, 2020 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
motion to approve the minutes of February 17, 2020 regular meeting.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
District 230 Foundation raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
I move to approve issuing a raffle license to District 230 Foundation to begin selling raffle tickets on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020 through Saturday, April 4th, 2020, when the drawing will take place.
Second. Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Chicago White Sox Charities Incorporated raffle license.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Calandrello.
move to approve issuing a raffle license to Chicago White Sox Charities, Inc. to sell raffle tickets at C.J. Wilson Mazda Car Dealership in Orland Park, 8910 West 159th Street from March 2nd, 2020 through August the 31st, 2020.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Police Pension Fund Board appointment.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
I move to consent to the appointment by President Pico of Scott Casper to the Police Pension Fund Board.
Second. Any questions, comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. At this point, I'd like to swear in Scott Casper. Scott, I want to thank you for agreeing to give up your time to serve on this board. It's an important board that we need representation on, so we appreciate it. Okay, what's the amendment? Here. So I'll entertain a motion to move to consent to the appointment by President Pico of Kevin Collazo to the History Museum Board of Directors, and I move to consent the reappointment by President Pico of the following members to the Museum Advisory Board: Michael Duffy, Karen Fricker, Christine Donovan, Eileen Neary, Robert Siegel, Susan Jamrose, and Kevin Collazo.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Accounts payable from February 18, 2020 to March 2nd, 2020.
entertain a motion to move to approve the accounts payable from February 18th, 2020 to March 2nd, 2020 in the amount of $1,623,025.09.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Healy, I know you're going to abstain from this. You shouldn't second it. Can I have another second?
Second.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to abstain from this. I have a personal conflict with the vendor.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments on this? Call the roll.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calendrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Abstain?
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. Motion carries 6-0.
Consent agenda?
Consent agenda, and I understand that item H is being pulled off of this because it was not unanimous at the committee of the whole. Item A, payroll for February 21st, 2020, approval. Item B, Icon Pavilion purchases, approval. Item C, road improvement program tree trimming contract extension. Item D, disposal of the village equipment, online auction, public works, and Orland Health and Fitness ordinance. Item E, replacement of parks and grounds, equipment purchase proposal. Item F, equipment purchase, Sourcewell award change order. Item G, replacement of unmarked police vehicles purchase proposal. Item H, an ordinance amending Title 8, Chapter 6 of the Orland Park Village Code in regard to drug paraphernalia and recreational cannabis. Ordinance amendment. Item I, Harris ERP Enterprise Annual Licensing and Support Renewal. Item J, zoning map update ordinance. Item K, Mastic Pistachio Gelato Special Use. Item L, Stellwagen Farm Lease Renewal 2020. Item M, Old Mill Subdivision, proposals for professional landscape services. Item N, RFP for Taste of Orland Park and 4th of July Stage Sound and Lights. Item O, RFP for Taste of Orland Park Electric. Item P, Taste of Orland Park, Orland School District 135, Orland Junior High Property Use Agreement. Item Q, WRB LLC Contract Professional Services Public Works. Item R, Village Code Amendments to Title 6, Chapter 2 Nuisances, Title 7, Chapter 13 Peddlers and Transient Merchants, and Title 5, Chapter 8 Rental Housing and Ordinance. Is there anything else to remove from the agenda besides item H?
Mr. Chairman, could we please remove item L?
Item F?
L, as in library. L, Stellwagen Farm.
Okay. Anything else? I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through G, I through K, and M through R.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calendrello?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
An ordinance amending Title 8, Chapter 6 of the Orland Park Village Code in regard to drug paraphernalia and recreational cannabis.
May I have an ordinance, please?
5484.
I move to pass ordinance number 5484 entitled, "An Ordinance Amending Title 8, Chapter 6 of the Orland Park Village Code in regards to drug paraphernalia and recreational cannabis."
Second.
Are there any comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Trustee Malani?
As I stated, the committee as a whole, our last session, unfortunately, the state, in its infinite wisdom, has blessed us with this. This is something that has to go along with it. I was against the ordinance from the beginning. It's nothing to do with, what our staff has done and what they put into this. It's just my belief that the state hurried with this decision and the implications were not thought through.
Any other questions or comments? The only thing I will add is that this ordinance essentially cleans up the ordinance to adhere to the state law that has now been passed, and whether we agree with the law or don't, which I believe the people on this board by and large do not agree with that law, we still have to clean up our ordinance to address that. So with that, call the roll.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Calendrello?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Nay.
Mayor Pico?
Aye. Motion carries 6-1.
Stellwagen Farm Lease Renewal 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to table this item till the next regular scheduled board meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is tabled.
Kids Around the World Playground donation presentation.
I'll turn it over to you, Gary, I guess, for the presentation here.
Sure. You know how much I love speaking in public. Mr. Mayor, Board of Trustees, this is to provide you with a brief update on a relationship that the village has had with an organization called Kids Around the World for about the last 8 years. Kids Around the World it's a much-needed organization that provides hope and happiness in the form of playground equipment to communities around the world where children may otherwise go without recreational play. The Village of Orland Park is a proud partner with the organization and many other communities to assist those children that are less fortunate in being able to play in a safe area. Below, I've got a couple of comments I'd like to share with you before I move into some stats on the company that Kids Around the World believes in and most folks in the park and recreation field adhere to as well. Play activities help children create, explore, and examine, which helps with brain development. It builds important creative thinking and problem-solving skills and contributes to emotional well-being. Play also helps kids forge strong connections with one another through learning how to share, negotiate, resolve conflicts, and develop self-advocacy skills. These benefits are often what is needed in most places where the world kids are hit and the hardest through limited resources available. Kids Around the World has been a nonprofit that was funded in 1994. One of the main purposes of the organization is to repurpose used playground equipment for use in disadvantaged countries. To date, they've installed over 900 playgrounds in over 64 countries around the world. These playgrounds are typically installed in churches, schools, summer camps, hospitals, and retreat areas. Over the years, the village has donated multiple playgrounds to this organization to help aid in their projects. Sunny Pine and Centennial, the Kevin Hertz playground, was in 2012. In 2013, the village partnered with the organization again with the renovation of Eagle Ridge Park. 2017, we worked with them in the removal of Veterans Park, and in 2018, Brentwood Park. This was spurred recently by one of the updated photos I got from the organization's director. This is a photo we received last year. The playground from Veterans Park that we donated in 2018 was rebuilt, repurposed, and installed in Karachi, Pakistan. The last full playground that we had removed was at Brentwood Park, and I just received an update that that playground was installed at a hospital at Lusaka in Zambia. The benefits that we gain aside from helping our fellow citizens of the world is the village does save funding on the removal of the playgrounds. Their organization comes in and removes all of the existing equipment, breaks off all of the footing, transports it off-site, which frees our crews up not to have to do that type of work. As well as being a great cause, it just makes everybody feel better trying to help others. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief update on one of the programs that we do deal with on a regular basis.
Well, thank you very much for that. The village does outstanding work, and we donate, not only do we donate this that goes out overseas, we also donate things to several of our neighbors in the Chicago Southland as well. So the village, recognizes the riches that we're fortunate enough to have, and we do pass that on to other entities that aren't as fortunate.
Mayor Pecan.
Trustee Dodge.
It's a question for staff. Do we, so this is a great thing. Got it. Do we know how much they have to do to, if any, on rehabilitation?
So a lot of the reasons why we don't repurpose a lot of this equipment is we are a country of litigation.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to say that.
If you're going to say something that dramatic, you should warn us so we could sit down first so we don't pass out.
Any
Shock.
type of modification on manufacturer equipment needs to be written approvals, ... Sometimes there's slight tweaks on these poles.
Or constantly evolving requirements, et cetera.
There may need to be aluminum welding, things along those lines, which in the situation that we're at in our
Yep.
area, that would put
No.
too much liability on.
So it's generally pretty good equipment, but it might come out of compliance. And
Correct.
we're
It
doing,
comes out
and
of
we're
compliance,
upgrading a
and
park.
The vast majority of the equipment that we have donated, we are unable to get parts for any longer. So they partner with communities all over the country, so they have a much
Got
bigger
it.
pool that they can grab parts that will interact.
No, this is a great thing. It's good to see. Thank you.
Any other comments? Great work.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 18, increased number of video gaming licenses.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Malani.
ordinance number, please.
5487.
I move to pass ordinance number 5487 entitled, "An Ordinance Amending Title 7, Chapter 18 of the Orland Park Municipal Code regarding the available number of video gaming licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois."
Second.
And what this is for Brass Tap. So we have given out the number of gaming licenses we currently have approved, much like liquor licenses, to 21. So we're raising this to 22 for Brass Tap, who's been around for, quite some time. I don't know how many years, but many. And they have submitted plans that our building department has approved, correct, Ed? And that I've also looked at, and I think the plans look good. So this is, so we're coming to the board basically to lift that up by one so that Brass Tap can operate 4 machines, is what they're planning on putting in there. Are there any questions or comments on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Trustee Calandrello.
So I did vote against the video gaming ordinance. However, based on the law and the possible litigation, we can't pick or choose winners or losers. So based on that, I'll be supporting this. This is the slippery slope that I was worried about. But I have to vote for it because of the possible consequence of picking and choosing winners. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Mayor Pico?
Trustee Dodge.
Just I got a couple things I'm going to discuss with George about some details in the ordinance and the side ordinance, but this kind of maps back to what I think we had originally intended, which was smaller local businesses. I don't think that Brass Tap has a lot of other locations. So, it is what it is in the state of Illinois at this time. Thank you.
Anything else? Any other questions, comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Amend Title 7, Chapter 4, number of Class B liquor license.
Ordinance number, please.
5488.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Dodge.
move to pass ordinance number 5448. Did I get that right?
5488.
5488, excuse me, entitled Ordinance Amending Title 7, Chapter 4, Orland Park Municipal Code regarding available number of Class B liquor licenses issued by the Village of Orland Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois.
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
this establishment has kinder care located right behind it, so how can they have liquor?
They are, the school is outside of the distance requirement.
It's also closed. I'm sorry.
What's that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. It's closed. The kinder care behind it's closed.
Okay. Oh, and it's closed.
Oh, kinder care closed?
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. It's a dentistry now.
Okay, never mind.
Any-
Oh, closed.
Any other questions or comments? Call the roll.
Trustee Dodge?
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas?
Aye.
Trustee Fenton?
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello?
Aye.
Trustee Healy?
Aye.
Trustee Malani?
Aye.
Mayor Pico?
Aye.
Let me sign it.
Right. There's one other item under Mayor's report that's not listed here. That's not a voting item, but it is very important. And something, George, also for you and for Nabia and for the video guys, if you can edit this and cut it down so we can do it as a public service announcement, I would really appreciate it. So as we are all aware, coronavirus has been in the news a lot. Pretty hard to, if you're seeing the news this weekend, to not see a lot of it. Today we had a meeting with a lot of our local elected bodies, including the school districts, fire districts, townships, et cetera, at the police station. Last night I took part in a call with 150 mayors, roughly, a regional call that was spearheaded by the city of Chicago, because they've been on ground zero since the beginning, because they were one of 7 major cities that have flights coming in and out of China. So they've been involved with this since late December. And I just want to give everyone an update because I think it's really important to give people the information that we have, as opposed to believing what you see on Facebook and what you're seeing, quite frankly, no offense to our reporters down here, but what we're seeing on the news media on TV, because essentially some of them are running it for 8 hours straight because they want viewership. So basically, if it, as George says, if it bleeds, it leads. So therefore, they keep putting it out there. So I want to get the facts out for you. The history of the coronavirus, and first off, coronavirus has been around since the mid-60s, and that's the common cold, but it also is SARS and MERS, so it has a lot of strains, just like the flu. In late December, coronavirus emerged in China. There were unprecedented quarantine efforts that were taken to keep it quarantined. Those did not work. Cases continued to emerge in other locations. Locally, 3 cases have been identified. The history of this is essentially that last week the CDC expressed a bit more concern because there's more worldwide spread in spite of the quarantine efforts, because they recognize the quarantine efforts did not work. There's 60 countries with infections. They're on every continent except Antarctica. Recent developments in the last 48 hours. There was the first death in the U.S. There were 2 as of last night, and I guess we had 4 more today, which I'll talk about here briefly. The first healthcare worker was infected last weekend. The first infection in a long-term care facility occurred last weekend, and that's, I believe, where the 4 deaths occurred. So they were very ill people to begin with. It was also the first, we've also this weekend had the first community spread, which means it was the first person that wasn't directly involved in a flight or in contact with someone, at least that we're aware of. So all of these things happened on the West Coast. There, as we know, there's a suburban Cook County resident became one of the 3rd person in the Chicagoland area. And last night we had the head of Chicago Public Health on there, who's been in touch with the CDC. So this information is very recent. The way they look at any type of issue like this, like the flu or anything that could become a pandemic, and flu is the one that we really worry about becoming a pandemic, and it does from time to time. There's 2 things: severity and spread. On both of those fronts, it's good news. The severity of this case, 80% of the cases are mild with no hospitalization. They essentially present themselves as a common cold. Children have proven to be much less likely to be infected. Not unlike the flu, older and people who are immunocompromised are the people who are most likely to have severe infections. The mortality rate is 1% to 2%. They believe, the CDC believes that's going to trend down towards about 1% as they get better at identifying it and better at some of the treatment options that are out there. So, and that's not anything to sneeze, that's 1 in 100. But to put it in perspective, SARS is 1 person in 10, MERS is 1 person in 3. The flu, the most virulent forms of the flu are about 1 in 500. So while it has a mortality rate, it is very, very low. The spread is also good news. Put it in perspective, measles, which is a fairly virulent spreading disease, 1 person will affect 18 on average. In this case, it's 1 person infects 2 to 3. So it's spreading at a much, much slower pace. So those are 2 things that make the CDC very happy. And when they plan, they look to slow the spread and minimize the mortality. Those are the first 2 things. The next 2 things they look to do is they look to preserve the healthcare system, and they look to limit the impact on the economy. So preserving the healthcare system, that means taking care of yourself for the flu and everything else so that it's not inundated with flu cases if these cases do show up. So they don't want the healthcare system to be overrun by this because of other diseases or because of panic or other things. Also limiting the impact on the economy. I mean, what we're seeing and hearing about with Costco being out of toilet paper and things, people are kind of, they're taking this to a new proportion, which they don't need to. And it's very important to know that go about your daily lives. The big thing on public awareness is remain calm about this, go about your daily life. We're prepared. All of these mayors were in this conference because we're prepared, not because we're afraid of what's coming, but because we're ahead of it, we're talking about it, okay? We're coordinating with one another. We're not in a vacuum. The fire protection was there today. The police department, our police department was there today. All the school districts were there, the townships were there. Other neighboring mayors of smaller communities, which we know they don't have the resources we do, they were there. Chicago did that for us yesterday. They know we don't have all the resources and we're not on the front line. They're making sure we have all this. So we are coordinating. And we're being transparent. We're telling you what's going on. I just gave you all of the facts that we have, and we will continue to update that. But we want to make sure that we're combating the misinformation that's out there and convey to you the facts. So to reiterate, the risk is very low. Go about your daily lives, okay? What you can do to avoid this: wash your hands, cover your mouth when you sneeze or cough. If you're sick, stay home from work, stay home from school. Simple things. If you're elderly and you get these symptoms, go to the doctor right away. If you're already sick and you feel like you're getting sicker, go to the doctor right away. Avoid touching your eyes and nose and mouth with unwashed hands. So those are the simple things that you can do. Wash your hands. Use it, if that's not there, use a hand sanitizer. All of those things. And also, if you have any questions, we'll have information on the website, on our website. We also have an email set up. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. It's coronavirusinfo@orlandpark.org. You can call our main line, 708-403-6100, and then you can ask for, there'll be a prompt for coronavirus, I believe, and it'll go directly to someone to answer that. Is that correct, George? Or we'll just go to the main switchboard and they'll know okay, they'll go to the main switchboard and they'll direct you to the right location. Also, www.chicago.gov/coronavirus. They have regular updates from the World Health Organization and the CDC. They're putting all that information out there. The most important thing we can do here is to use common sense, go about your daily lives. This is very similar to the flu. That's what we've got going on here. And to keep in mind, there's still, I believe, less than 100 cases in the U.S. So that we know about. So it's still very, very small, very contained. But it's likely, we're not going to hide anything from you. You're going to see more cases because the quarantine didn't work. So you will see some more cases. That's just going to happen. But if you go about your daily lives, if you're not otherwise sick and you're not elderly, there's nothing to be concerned about. If you are sick or elderly, it's like the flu. You need to pay attention to it. And if you haven't gotten your flu shot already, go get your flu shot so you don't end up in the hospital for the flu that could potentially be used to help other people. You don't need masks. There's no special equipment. You're not going to see people in big hazmat suits or any of that kind of stuff because the standard protection for first responders is just a mask, is it. And if you don't wear a mask unless you're infected, because it doesn't help. So if you're infected, they'll tell you to wear a mask because they don't want you coughing or sneezing on other people. So those are the facts. It's really important that we get those out to you. We will keep those updated on a regular basis on the Village of Orland Park website. Thank you. Is there anybody here to speak tonight? Board comments, Trustee Fenton.
I just want to remind everybody that the Helen Keller presentation will be at the museum on March 21st. And there's another one, the Generals is this weekend? Is this weekend. So if you get an opportunity to get over there and get register for the programs, if you can't register online, then you can just show up and pay the day of the event. Other than that, nope.
Trustee Dodge.
Just a broad comment for people of Orland Park and for this board. Over the years, Orland Park has done a lot of great things for communities at need. I think we spent outsized part of our resources on special rec. That's an important thing. What we saw tonight with donations to parks and the kind of equipment we've donated over the years and releasing bond authority to communities that could use some help. So I'm very proud of Orland Park doing that through the years.
Trustee Calendro.
Just want to wish everyone a happy Cashman Pulaski Day, revolutionary hero who's actually saved our founder of the country, George Washington. So for all my Polish American mother, happy Cashman Pulaski Day. George, happy Pulaski Day, and to everyone else. Not sure we don't have a day off, but that Columbus, we got to work on those days.
That leads right into Trustee Healy.
Be prepared, 2 weeks till St. Patrick's Day, so we'll get that going. But I would just like to say, for those of you that were at the Committee of the Whole, that we presented a ethics ordinance tonight. I'd like to thank those commission members, and as we go down the stretch with trying to get that thing perfected, I'd also encourage board members, elected officials, and commissioners to recommend anything they want. Now's the time to give it another shot, and don't hesitate at asking a question, so. Thank you.
Trustee Katsinas.
Yes, the Orland Park Police Department tomorrow are having a neighborhood, I think, a
The beat meeting.
beat meeting for beats number 1 and 7. Not that we're quite sure exactly where that's at listening, but perhaps Chief McCarthy could tell us a little bit about what you're going to discuss at those beat meetings.
So we want to have our sergeant and patrol officers assigned to those beats at the beat, for crime stats for that beat, that area, general condition of crime throughout the community, things of interest such as mayor's presentation of coronavirus, and other things of interest, and questions and answers, generally based on public services there too. We'll answer questions in regards to property condition, property
Tomorrow night, 6 to 8:30, and then we have Beat 3 is going to be at Cruise on March 10th from 7:30 to 9:30, right? Okay. A resident is also in the audience who asked that I say a little something on her behalf. Unfortunately, she had to use our services, both of EMS and police, responding to a medical emergency, and she wanted to say what an outstanding job both police and fire did in assisting her in her time of excruciating pain and need. So she just wanted me to convey that. So great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Reiterate, just go about your daily. Oh, sorry, Trustee Malani, I forgot about you again.
Thank you once again, Mayor Picow.
You're the forgotten man.
So as we go down the list, pretty much everybody took everything I had. So
See, I knew that. So, Uncle.
It pays to be last. So yeah, thank you all and have a great night. Back to you.
So again, I just want to reiterate to everyone is go about your daily lives and do what, take the precautions you take with the flu. Also, you know, I got something from Orland Square Mall about our police, and I thought I'd share it with you. Actually, the manager of the mall recently reached out to say thank you to the Orland Park Police Department for their assistance in a grab-and-run incident that occurred at the Apple Store in February. Through the outstanding work of the responding officers, arrests were made on the 3 suspects. It was determined recently that the suspects apprehended were wanted in connection with a nationwide crime spree occurring in at least 9 other states, including several Apple stores and various merchants. He explained, "I continue to remain impressed with the commitment, perseverance, and professionalism of the men and women of the Orland Park Police Department." So, Chief, thanks again to all you guys for a job well done. So we really appreciate it. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman,
Trustee Fenton.
move to go into executive session for A, approval of minutes, B, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific village employees, C, collective bargaining matters between the village and its employees or its representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, D, setting the price for sale or lease of village property, C, security procedures to respond to a danger to the safety of the public or village staff or property, F, pending litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the village, or when found by the board that such action is probable or imminent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We need to do a roll call for executive session, I was informed, so call the roll.
Trustee Fenton.
Aye.
Trustee Calandrello.
Aye.
Trustee Dodge. Aye. Trustee Healy.
Aye.
Trustee Katsinas.
Aye.
Trustee Malani.
Aye.
Mayor Pico.
Aye.